But I remember you wrote an article once on the bench shirt, and it pissed me off because it was about, using the bubble on the bench shirt.
Yeah.
And then if you learned how to use the bubble right, you should be able to get 60 pounds out of your bench shirt. I'm like, 60 pounds, who the heck gets 60 pounds out of their bench shirt?
Yeah.
It's like, God, man, I'm getting like 20 pounds. He's getting 60 pounds. This is bullshit. So I'm trying to figure this out. And then fast forward, 5-6 years later, and it's like 350 pounds out of the bench shirt or 200 pounds out of the bench shirt.
Yeah.
Like, I was mad because you figured out how to get 60. And it's like, holy crap, 60 is like the starting point, but that's kind of irrelevant at this point in time.
It's a good point though, Dave. It's a good point. It's, guys like us might be tempted to say, well, those guys with the bench shirts nowadays getting 2 and 3 and 3+ out of their shirt. Back in my day, we didn't even get 100, right? And that's not the issue. The issue is the sport has changed.
Oh, yes.
Just like, I use this example, just like when pole vaulting went to the fiberglass pole.
Mm-hmm.
And the pole bent in half and lifted guys up 19 feet in the air all of a sudden, right?
Yep.
So the guys that were done would say, well, that's not pole vaulting. That doesn't have anything to do with pole vaulting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what pole vaulting has become.
Yeah.
And so you got a choice. This is how I looked at it, because I started when shirts were optional.
Mm-hmm.
No, but if you put a shirt on good, it might help your shoulders. You might get 10 or 15 pounds out of it.
Yeah,
polyester, you can put it on yourself.
Yeah.
Take it off yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you look at now, right? Why complain?
Yeah.
It was a different thing back then.
Yeah. The sport's gone pretty much 100% raw now.
I like that. Of course,
Yeah.
I like strength, but I looked at it as if I don't master this skill, somebody else will.
And it was a skill.
Or 70 or 80 pounds. And I'm
Yes.
giving that up if I don't learn how to do it.
Yeah. And the bench shirt, when it was at its most gangster, I guess, they still had to stabilize the load. They still had to take the weight out and hold it.
Yeah.
Which was a big thing. Then they had to lower it, and then they still had to lock it out. I mean, so what happened with gear, and I like how you use the word skill, because that's how I explain it, is the sport became extremely skill oriented. More so, it actually moved a little bit away from being a strength sport.
Indeed,
to being
some guys were skilled.
Skill sport.
They could beat you with their skill.
Yeah.
That's like a real sport, though. That's
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
I was okay with that because
I was too.
I admire strength, right?
Yep.
And that has to come in first. But I also admire somebody that practices enough to get good.
If the person that takes the time to build better skill set
10,000 hours
can beat the stronger person, then that's the stronger person not taking the time to work their skill, to master the craft.
Right. They're relying on what they have instead of what they can learn.
So that part of the sport I actually kind of liked, because it's like, okay, you're strong. All right.
Yeah.
But there's another component here, just like most other sports. And it's, like I said, it's become raw pretty much 100% now. So it's gone
really
back.
admire that. I like that.
So it's back to where, and I mean, when I started, it was single-ply. So, I mean, everything's goes in cycles.
Yeah.
But let's go deep now. Let's get out of this history bullshit with the JM press and dieting and losing weight. So for all those people, we covered all that shit. The one thing I want to note with JM is he's, as far as profession wise, worked as a strength coach and, taught a little bit too, right?
Indeed.
But throughout all that time, and even now, you still train people in real life.
Yeah.
Not online.
Trained them this morning.
In real life.
Came down to
so that's what his profession is. So the art of training people is also an art of communication. It's an art of mastery of nonverbal communication. Reading people's skill sets, being able to motivate them to do things they otherwise may not want to do.
Or may not believe they can do.
Or not believe that they can do.
When Luke came to you and said, you don't think you can do.
Yes.
Yeah. People don't think they can be what they can be.
Yeah.
As coaches, we know what we get good at seeing what's in them.
Yes.
Now, they may not see it.
And when I worked as a trainer, it was Gen Pop, so you're dealing with completely different mindset there, you know, all the way up to going in the West Side and having to train with the guys there. So it's a diverse group of different mindsets to try to balance and figure out. So with the mental aspect, I remember, just to throw some old stories out, you carrying around a rock that had 700 on it. It was kind of like they used to sell the old pet rocks when I was a kid. It's like a pet rock. I remember at one
Carried
point,
it everywhere it went.
Yeah, I remember at one point in time, your lifting partner would write 700 on his forehead upside down.
He's done it, yeah.
Yep. So when he gave you the lift off, you'd be able to see that. But I mean, those are all kind of fun, you know, type of stories. But I also remember, you know, seeing you in the warm-up room in a meditative state for God knows how long, you know, however long it took. You know, it could be a half hour, it could have been an hour. It was just like, okay, it's what he does. It's what he does to get ready. So I think the mind, as far as sports, business, and life, is greatly untapped. And it seems to be what you've been tapping out a little bit on your Instagram about and talking about. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Let me make one thing. Let me make everyone angry.
Yeah.
All right. So people are fond of saying everybody's different. And to that I say bullshit. Physically. Remember we talked about biology and how we all have the same ancestors and they were all the best of the best because those are the ones that survived. So physically, no. We're about 1/1000% different. We are not physically different. That's why you can use a very narrow range of medicine and pretty much hit everybody, because everybody's about the same. And everybody responds about the same. Now, where I will agree wholeheartedly, and this is the direction we're going to go, is mentally and personality-wise, we are very, very different. And so when you said about the general population and being such a wide stretch, that's true. It's crazy wide, right? But I want to make a statement, and then I want people to think about it. You know, how different are we physically? Your muscles are made out of the exact same molecules as mine are. Your bones are made out of the same stuff. All the physiological processes in our body follow the same rules. Your nerves conduct the same way. There are small differences. There's small differences in metabolism. Those are so small, I'm going to round those down to 0.
Yeah.
Because they're so little, I don't want to talk about them. Right?
Yep.
I'm going to round that just down to nothing. And what I want to talk about is where we are different. Right? And this is where I'll agree with people. Yeah, everybody's different, personality and mental. And that's where I think we need to go. You know how to train people. I know how to train people. It's known information. Anybody can follow the system, follow the program, stick with the program, eat the food. You'll get what you want. You get what we promise, right? You tell an athlete, do this and you'll get this. Everybody knows that. All the programs are built to make you strong and they all work. So what's going on? How come we're so much different? And I think that's where we are different. So what would you like to talk about the mental side of things?
Well, if you're speaking of, let's just go with the programming. Okay. Same program, 2 different people. Works for one, doesn't work for another.
No, the program works for both of them, Dave, because the program is solid. It's never failed anybody.
Yeah. But mentally,
the person fails, right?
The person fails.
Right.
That's what I want to talk about. Where, how, what's going on in their head.
And, you know, I know absolutely nothing about what's going on in your head except what you tell me. I know everything that's going on in my head, and that's where I'm stuck. So if I don't get feedback from you or my athletes, I tell them I can see everything you're doing. 100% of what you're doing, I can see. And 0% of what you're feeling, I can feel. I know nothing about what you're feeling. I know everything about what I can see you doing. So I need that information. So you talked about how you communicate with your athletes, how you understand them, how they make themselves understood to you. That's where this is at, right? This is the question, right? They got to be on board with opening up and giving you the best information they have. So they have to be at least able to communicate in words and nonverbal too, right? I worked with teenage kids teaching, and they don't want to tell you what's really going on, but you can figure it out, right? If you ask the right questions and see what happens, you can, so I read a lot of books about body language and that's important. That's really good. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't think I tell people that enough. And so that's going to be good. But you rely on what they tell you, and it has to be fairly accurate. So one thing we know about young kids and people that want to please you, no matter what level they're at, they don't want to really displease you. They don't want to tell you, the whole story necessarily. So they'll hide information from you that you need. And so you got to get this trust level built up slowly but surely. You build trust only one way. You can't say, yeah, you got to trust me. That doesn't work. When President Trump says, believe me, I don't believe him. I want to see, make me trust you by coming through. So as a coach, I have to come through for these people. And I have to come through with something little, and then something bigger and bigger and bigger. And at some point, maybe they'll trust me enough to, instead of going, hey, do you understand that? Do you really understand what I'm telling you? And they go, yes. And they keep nodding their head. Okay, do you understand this? Is this adding up to you? Yes, yeah. And they don't, right? Because they don't want to tell you, no, I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense, JM. That's dumb. How does that work? They don't want to say that. They want to please you. They want to hide their lack of understanding. And so that you have to build trust. And the only way to build trust is you ask them to trust you on a little tiny thing. They do, and you come through. You ask them to trust you on a little more, and you come through. And you can't mess that up once. That's got to be like 100% or as close as you can manage, because you let them down once, especially as you get going. You let them down on something big one day, you just went way back, right? But if they trust you, they'll give you more information and you'll understand them. I have my clients write for me. If something happens in a workout that I find that's interesting or unusual, or I think matters, I'll say, I want you to write one paragraph on this, 3 or 4 sentences. What happened when we did that? What was going on there? You can tell me what you felt. You can tell me what you think was going on. You can write anything. There's no rules, because I don't really care what they write. I care about how they write it to me and how they start telling me who they are. I was there for the workout. I saw what happened. I don't need to know that. I know what was going on in their bodies. I kind of know what's going on in their head a little bit, right? Because I can see it in their actions, right? We betray our thoughts with our actions, but I want to know about the person. The more I know about the person, the more I'll be able to motivate them. The more I understand them, the more of their personality that is very, very different than mine, right? There's where we're different. Then I can say, okay, this would work for me, but that's not going to work for them at all. They're never going to understand that. And so you have to tell somebody something the way they need to hear it. One of my friends was having a conversation with his wife on the phone. There was some I could only hear half of it. He said, yeah, I told you. She must have said, no, you didn't. Yeah, I did. And this goes back and forth for a minute. And then he says, yeah, I did tell you, but I must not have told you the way you needed to hear it. And I thought that was brilliant of him. Number one, he made the gesture to compromise. Number two, I think that's true. People don't listen to every word we say. They hear what they want to hear sometimes, right? So we got to find a way as coaches to say it in a way that they can hear it the way we want them to hear it, so that they can understand it the way we want them to understand it. And so you may say it one way and yeah, okay. But then they'll tell you one day, man, when you said that, when you gave me that analogy of trying to, I don't know, push out against the walls or whatever, you give it to them in the right way and they bite. And you think to yourself, man, I've been saying this for a long time, but I didn't say push out the walls. I said something else. That meant the same thing, right? I want your muscles to do this, or I want you to, but you said it in the right way finally. And they'll tell you, and so that's what I seek to do. I try to say it in the right way, not the way I understand it necessarily. And so I tell people, I said, let me explain this to you. And if it doesn't make sense to you, if this doesn't add up, common sense, right? Then ask me to explain it again because I did a bad job. So let me try again. I'll say it a different way. And you keep doing that because I'm right about this. And I know I'm right. And if you don't think I'm right, if you don't agree that I'm right, then I did a terrible job explaining myself. It's my fault. So I need to say it the way you need to hear it. I need to give you this information so that you can have it. And I put that burden on myself, you know, not them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put that on myself. Let me try again. And I'm a fairly creative guy. So if I can't do it, I'll keep trying. I'll try to create a way that makes sense to you.
Well, the burden should be on you because if you're the person that is coaching,
you know it. They don't know it yet, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're the one that has the.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've seen so many coaches put the burden on the athlete. I don't believe in negative motivation. I don't believe in this, you tell me I can't do something and I'll just do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's complete and utter bullshit. Anybody who's read a book about teaching, coaching, parenting, or dog training knows that you can't use and since the 90s forward. I mean, I grew up with that, right? I grew up with the football coach grabbing your face mask and throwing you around and telling you you're nothing, and thinking that's going to motivate you. What the coaches, that's the laziest way of coaching. Because I'm trying to make you mad and find it in yourself all by yourself. I'm going to piss you off so much that you're going to ruminate and find that will in your own. That's self-motivation. I didn't motivate you as a coach. I didn't tell you how to find that. I just put it all on you. You come through or you don't. You can't do this. You won't be able to do this. You can't lift that. That's not motivating.
Yeah.
You know, that's poking somebody. And then if they get mad enough, maybe they'll do it. But you didn't teach them anything. They did that all by themselves. You were barely necessary. So I think it's a lazy way out to negatively motivate. And you can do it. I mean, the United States military does it all the time.
Yeah, but with that, isn't that really it's a reaction. It's a reaction to the stimulus, which is, it's not really something that's going to carry through because they're going to need that stimulus to create that reaction.
Every time.
So that means if they're a football player, they need to have a negative, bad situation happen before they can actually react.
I've seen lifters get the shit beat out of them before they lift.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessary, right? Don't you have that? Can't you just turn that button on yourself? Why is somebody going to slap you in the face 100 times? I tried it. I tried it. I feel it. I tried the ammonia. I tried all that. Okay. If that's a part of your triggers, that's part of your method, and that's part of your ritual, fine. If that brings it out, like acupuncture or whatever else, okay. I'm not going to argue with you if you're successful with that. I'm just going to question whether it was necessary and is there a better way? And there is a better way. The better way is for you to teach your people how to bring this out of themselves. That's a lot harder. That's a lot of work on your part and their part.
So the question I would have is bring what out? Confidence?
There's only one way to build confidence, David. There's only one way on the whole planet. Same way you build trust. You cannot build confidence by telling somebody they need to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Tell me, how do I believe in myself? How do I do that, coach? Well, you have to. You got to keep positive attitude. Yeah, I know that, coach. How do I get a positive attitude? How do I generate that? You have to teach them how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, then you need to do some research as a coach because people know how to do this. People know how to teach other people to do it. So the only way to build confidence is by victory experiences. If you tell me to be confident and I have no victory experiences, I have no reason to be confident in myself. However, if you give me a little task and I do it and I say, give yourself a pat on the back for that. Just tell your subconscious, good job. That's what I wanted to do. And remember this. Then you give them a very carefully selected next challenge. So this is the coach's or trainer's job to set out, or the teacher or the parent, set out a series of events that are graded in order to lead them somewhere. And where you're leading them is to have a whole bunch of history of confidence behind them. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And sooner or later, they can look back and go, hey, I did all those things. I have a good reason to be confident. You can't have nothing under there and say, look back and have a reason to be confident in yourself. There's no reason.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just choose confidence. You have to build confidence.
Yes.
And a good coach or parent or teacher or dog trainer knows how to set up those events. So part of my job as a coach or a teacher or parent or anything is to ask for something that is challenging enough that it will have a reward. Too small, no reward. I use the example of tying your shoes. Your goal for tomorrow is to tie your shoes before you leave. Okay, you did it. Good job. Not enough. No reward. It has to be challenging enough that there's some reward for them. So it has to be difficult, but it cannot be impossible because you'll teach them the opposite. You'll teach them not to believe in themselves. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do that. So you have to be very, very careful. So here's the art and skill of training someone. Ask for the appropriate next step. And if you screw it up, you're going to lose confidence. If you do it right, you'll build confidence. And pretty soon, that ball is like snowball. It just keeps going. I did this. I did that. I did that. What can't I do? Right? And then you ask that question, what can I do? I wonder how far this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, confidence. Yeah, but you can either throw it on them and say, man, you got to believe in yourself. You don't have any faith in yourself. You should be more positive about yourself. No, you got to teach them how to do that. And, I came up with the coaches that believe that, they could just make you mad and that's how it motivates you. And yeah, I don't like to be pushed around. So yeah, I reacted, right? But I reacted to their action. I didn't take the action on my own.
Yes.
That's what you're saying about
you
always need that. That's what you're saying. So if we can teach athletes how to generate it,
yes,
I promise you that pushing people only goes so far. They run out and they quit and they stop before the guy who learns how to do it. He'll keep going.
I would always do my speed days at 5x5.
Yeah.
Which Louis at first liked, and then he hated later on. But what was weird was my bench was going up incredibly doing that, so I wasn't going to stop it. So sometimes he liked it, sometimes he didn't like it. It depended.
So how did you figure out what to use? Was a 5x5 the same weight?
No. I would kind of just fuck around with it, honestly. Yeah, I should have.
If the first 5 was easy, you added more weight. Yep. Until I got like, fuck, I don't know if I can do another 5.
I would also do speed day by myself. So I would train at Corey Gregory's gym in the east side because I lived on the east side. So it's easier, to do that. So I would do it over there. So Louis didn't see it most of the time. Did a lot of declines over there too, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on the max effort day.
Max effort day was just whatever. I like camber bars, about like some kind of camber to the bar. That stuff worked really well for me. A lot of dumbbells, heavy dumbbell presses.
How often would that replace the actual barbell?
I would try to do it once every 6 weeks or so.
So there's
some
thinking out now. Like there's one rule now. Like dumbbells every 6 weeks, but everything else is just fucked.
I don't actually follow that rule. I'm just making it up now. But see, that's what it was.
Like, what it should be. Yeah. And then what was the accessories on those days?
So I like flies. I have flies afterwards. I know flies typically aren't a big bench movement for powerlifters, but I use them a lot. Heavy flies, back, upper back, triceps. I do a lot of pull-ups. Did a lot of pull-ups then. Still do a lot of pull-ups.
Yeah.
Rear delts. Yep. Tons of rear delts. We didn't do, Luke and I were talking about this earlier. We did almost no shoulder work, never kind of any kind of overhead pressing. I rarely did any side lateral raises, just rear delts all the time.
Mm-hmm. And this is pretty much what everybody was doing.
Yeah. I think pretty much everyone was following us, right?
Yeah.
When I first got to West Side, though, Louis was like, "You're not going to do West Side. You're not going to do conjugate." And I was like, "What am I doing?" He's like, "You're going to bodybuild." He goes, "You're too fucking skinny." And so for my first, 6 months there or so, I was doing like a more traditional type of bodybuilding workout. I would do some max effort stuff, but then everything else was bodybuilding, since 10, 12 and stuff like that. It worked. Yes. Did work.
This is for people that are listening. This is why it's so fucking hard to explain. What they want all these rules.
Right.
Like, this is it.
The thing people have to realize too about West Side is you're only getting the best of the best. You know what I mean? So everyone there understands their bodies, understands the weights, understands how to move. So it's not like you're a beginner walking the West Side. Everyone in there is fucking insanely strong.
Yeah. And with these repetitions that you're talking about, I don't want to say that you didn't miss, but if you missed, you weren't supposed to.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So nothing was intended to be a complete true one,
right,
or 100%.
Right. You know, I was trying to work up to a 97.5%, you know, that's set like right before a back set, you know, and make it feel good. I wanted all my bench presses to be with 500 pounds plus. That was a rule, you know, so that was pretty much it.
So then what would change if you started leading into a meet?
Nothing until Circumax, really. Okay. You know, I don't think we'd change. I think we'd deload in Circumax.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the fucking Circumax is less than you were doing to begin with.
That's was the thing. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. The Circumax is easier than the training.
Oh my God.
That's the easiest thing we had.
Yeah. You know? So how far out did that start?
God, I don't know. You remember?
Yeah. Right before the third week. 3 weeks out, right before 3 weeks out.
Yeah, so 6 weeks out.
Yeah. We used to do it. We do the light one. We do 600 plus a blue, green, purple. That was 1,000 pounds. We'd do like, 5 sets, 5 of doubles.
Yep.
And then the following week, we would do the max.
We had a single, I think, at the end too. Did we do 5 doubles and a single? I think we
No, that was the following week.
And it was all singles.
Yeah, all singles, yeah.
I think I would do a single on the week before too. I would do 5 doubles and a single.
And then we usually took our heaviest deadlift that day, right after the 5 sets.
Yeah.
That day would be our last heavy deadlift. And that would be something against a band or whatever.
Yeah.
And then one time we did it the next day at the Arnold. Do you remember that?
Yes.
We circuit max the first day, and then deadlifted Arnold in front of a whole bunch of people.
We were doing exhibition.
08, 09, exhibition. It was really cool.
Yeah,
people
awesome.
were like from me to you cheering us on. I mean, it was so crowded.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All,
So your heaviest pull was on that Friday for the meet.
Yeah.
And then the next day,
3 weeks and a day.
Yeah. So the next day you went to the Arnold and pulled there.
Well, we didn't pull that Friday.
I got it.
We just did the squad. Yeah. A little bit of accessory work, and then we pulled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When the exhibition at the Arnold too.
Yeah. At a booth.
It was being AJ, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, was there a time when you came in? You know, it's a long time ago. Trying to figure this shit out. I think I remember a time, because there was a time towards either after I left, actually it was before I left, when Chuck started training at Lexington on Saturday, but he was still there the other days helping us out. And then you might, maybe I wasn't, were you there when I was fucking there? I don't think you were. I don't think you were. But there was a time when, weren't you training with Chuck over at Lexington?
Yeah, so I went for a few months, then a stroke, and then that was that.
All right, so that was after.
Yeah, that was after, yeah.
Okay, that was after.
We had a huge fight, and then I left. Yeah, I'd been there for like 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that makes sense now, because Chuck got to this point where he wanted to do different things, right? Yes. So especially with the squad. Yes. So he started doing it at Lexington, but still helping us on Friday, and that obviously created fucking issues before the issues, before the bigger issues kind of happened. Right. But he was still there. You know, some of that. I always have these mixed opinions about this kind of shit, because Kenny kind of got in the same boat, you know, where he would help us and then drive to Cleveland to train with Angelo to try to get his deadlift to go back up. But he's still fucking there doing helping us. So what difference does it? It was one fucking day a week. What difference does it make? Right. Meanwhile, these other fucking schmucks wouldn't come in one day a week and go do their shit someplace else, but that was okay. It's just this weird fucking Louis thing.
There's a lot of weird Louis things.
It was fucked up. It's like, well, how's it okay for this fucking guy over here that can't even fucking win a local meet, but it's not okay for this person just trying to figure their fucking deadlift out?
Yeah. I think he kind of decided right when he first met you if he liked you or didn't like you, and it wasn't going to change.
Yeah, there's a few guys he didn't like.
Oh,
yeah. He made it known.
Oh, very known.
That's one thing that I do think changed, right? Because when I was talking to Dave, when the time that I was there, he didn't throw anybody out. He would ask somebody else to throw him out. Like,
he asked me to do it.
Like, Ritter, you need to throw it out. Or, if somebody else had to do it, there'd be a vote, right? Kinda. Yeah. But there'd be a kind of vote, and then that. And then sometime after I left, that shit changed. Yeah. Where it was just like, get the fuck out of here in a day. Yeah. So that's legit.
Yeah. There was this kid there one time who, he would train alone at Westside, which is weird. And he would kind of like, his training time was kind of like moving into our training time. It was kind of getting annoying. So I was like, Louis, can we get rid of him? He's no purpose here. He doesn't compete. He's not a lifter. He's just, I don't know why he's here. And Louis was like, yeah, get rid of him. So I go over to him like, hey man, thank you for your time here, whatever, the usual speech, but you got to go. And he's like, oh, okay, man, I understand. No problem. And we shake hands, he leaves. then the following Monday, I come back in, and he's back in there. And I'm like, hey, Louie, I thought we threw him out. Louie goes, I've never seen him before in my life. I've never seen that guy before in my life. Jesus.
And he'd been there for how long?
A year, 2 years?
No, I get that. I get it.
That's
Yes.
Louie.
But that's the fucked up part, though. I mean, A, is he just fucking with you? Or B, is he serious?
I think he's serious. I think
Yeah.
he's serious.
I mean, if you're not one of his top guys, he probably don't.
Yeah, I probably had no idea.
Probably
I
doesn't.
don't think he had any idea about powerlifting outside of West Side Barbell. Like,
No, he didn't. He didn't. Wait, what you're saying is intriguing me because there would be some people like a night crew or and he didn't know their fucking names.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, does this like
he had no idea who they were.
real
Yeah,
or
that's for real.
doesn't fucking know?
Yeah.
And
Doesn't care.
yeah, it's the same shit too, where that I'm sure you ran into and say, man, you need to do this. Then you start doing it, and that 15 minutes, what the fuck are you doing?
That's what we were talking about.
Right? And I'm doing what you fucking told me to do.
Yeah. I didn't say that shit. Go over.
No, and then there'd be in this argument, and I'm like, now is this like for real? Is he shit?
Yeah.
Or is he fucking with me right now?
No, he's being real. That's the solution.
I didn't know.
I do it now. I do that to my lifters now. It's the same thing.
Right, so they're there.
Same shit, yes.
Now you're doing it intentionally?
No. Yeah, this somebody. You told me to do that. I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry. No, I'm not doing it on purpose.
Oh, that's fucking funny. That's crazy as hell. You talked about the band thing, right? Were there other days that you remember like that were just
Insanity?
not insanity, but not for the reason that other people would think like that band thing's fucked up. Like we can all agree that's kind of fucked up.
So it wasn't great.
Yeah, like other things like that weren't great ideas.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's a million of them. One of the things that used to scare the fuck out of me is probably not a bad idea, but when you put a ton of band tension on a bar and use a board, like that overload, when you first take that bar out, it's always felt like my pec was going to tear off, you know? So that was all. I never thought that was a good idea. We do a lot of it. I did a lot of it too. There's one day where me and Travis Bell, we had like 675 on the bar. I don't know how much band tension, the green bands, and 200 pounds of chain. And we were doing a 3-board. And it was like, I survived it, but I was like, I'm going to tear my fucking pec. And I remember feeling that a lot there. My pec's going to break. Like something bad's about to happen.
With the band thing that you're talking about, George and JM used to do that.
Yeah, yes.
And you can't even with the lift off, you can't get it.
It's horrifying. You bring the bar out, like, oh my God, it's right to your pecs.
Yeah. No, it fucking, if you could get it out, you know, I'm like, you're like trying 3 or 4 times to get it the fuck out, and then you get a 3-man handout, or somebody lifts it out, and you're holding it like, thank God there's a board.
Those 3-man handouts with a band over the bar like that. It's like they bring it out, it just drops right on top.
Oh, it's terrible.
It goes down like that much further to the band tension.
But then you press it up, you know, and you're like,
okay,
wait a fucking minute.
That wasn't that bad.
So in my mind, I'm still like, did this actually do anything?
Yeah.
You know, because I don't fucking know.
No idea.
Exactly.
I remember when we did the giant foam when I first got
Oh, yeah, the giant foam.
That band tension. Yeah. Like 500, 600, 700 pounds of band tension.
I forgot about those
the
things.
giant foam and then pressing with
The butt sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit was insane. I love that. So I love those things.
That was pretty cool.
How much would they compress, those big ones? Now, wait, are you talking with the squat or with the bench?
This would be we were doing it with the bench.
Yeah.
Bench, so the foam. So how much would those compress in?
Quite a bit. I mean, probably a good, I don't know, foot, maybe.
Oh, so it was not just a couple inches.
No, we had a lot of weight on it. Went down. Yeah. With the band too, we had band tension to it even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could sink pretty low if you had a good amount of weight on it with squatting and benching.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That's the one thing I could never tell from videos if they showed, because there's a big box, you know, is how much compression is really in there.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that always go through my mind is this is just a fucking giant ass sponge, man. It's fucking hot. I know what it's like. It's like it's hot in there. There's fat fuckers with fucking acne all over their ass crack. You know, it's fucking just sopping into this sponge.
All the time.
No.
My girlfriend would throw me out all the time. Me and my pit bull would go sleep there.
You slept on the fucking
All the time.
In the car.
Bed in my car, yeah. Yes, it was.
Fuck.
I bring a pillow and a blanket.
How long has it been that way?
We've done that probably since mid-30s, maybe, I think. or so.
Okay.
My nutrition and sleep's just gotten better. I've been better at it as I've gotten older and just gotten more knowledge about it. And then as I've gotten older, I've just made better decisions. You know, like before I would wakeboard in the morning and try to come squat in the afternoon, you know, and now I just plan things out a lot better. And so I probably sacrifice more things for the training now than I used to, or I just plan things out a little bit better so that I try to set myself up for a really great training day.
So in that case, is it no wakeboarding 12 weeks out, or is it wakeboarding on the off days further away from the squat?
Yeah, I'll stop doing it as we get probably like a month out, just because, you know, it's just, I've put so much effort into it. It's not worth like some little injury that might happen, you know, just because, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'll definitely, as we get closer, I'll do it in the beginning, but as we get closer, I just kind of level that stuff off just to ensure. I mean, you're putting 100% effort into something. So, you know, you don't want to do things that will derail that for something silly that you could just do later.
When you do the seminars like you're going to do tomorrow, what are some of when that's over, if I were to ask you after that was over, what were the 3 biggest things that you see that you had to help them with? It's usually going to be kind of the same.
Yeah,
right?
It pretty much is.
Yeah, what are those 3 things?
Tomorrow's just a bench press seminar.
Yeah.
So usually it's hands are too narrow. Everyone close grips. They don't put their hands in a more powerful position. So that's usually one. Setup, of course. Just people are afraid of the arch. It's okay to arch haters. It puts you in a good position. So usually the arch is definitely one. And then most of the time, I would just say it's people just not realizing how much form matters. It's just breaking it all down and working on little pieces at one time. It's hard, but I feel like the bench is like probably the most technical lift, you know, out there. There's so many little things that you can do. So I always tell them like it's a lot at one time. And so then you got to just take one piece and incorporate one piece at a time rather than trying to fix it all at once.
If you're watching them bench, so if I'm teaching somebody the bench and it's a small group or kind of like what you're doing, if you're watching them bench with the bar, what's the first things that you're looking for right when they get under the bar?
How they grip the bar, like where is it in their hands?
Yeah.
And then on the bar, where is it placed on the bar? And then when they're bringing the bar down to their chest, what does their arm angle look like when it's on their chest? Because there's kind of some rules, you know, in powerlifting of like, you should do this, but I mean, we're all shaped very differently. Like, you know, one of the things that we do is like, if you measure your clavicle length and you double it, that's how far your first fingers work, you know, should be about that area. But if you have a short shoulder width and really long arms, that doesn't work for you. And the opposite is true. So unless you're like of like average proportions, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So usually if I look at a lot of people, like, you know, they want to hold the bar in the back of their hands, you know, and they want to tuck.
Yeah.
And then they want to be very narrow. And so that's usually the first things that we fix is how it's sitting in their hands, where their hands are going. And then I really feel like you need to put the bar in its most natural path. I don't really feel like you should be guiding it into any particular groove, unless like, you know, you're just doing something weird, like benching below your neck or something, or your chin or whatever.
When you're looking at that, when do you get them set on the bench? So do you look at that before you look at how they're setting their shoulders on the bench? Because obviously you're looking at everything at the same time, but I've done this enough times to know there's so many things wrong when they first get under. So you're trying to process a lot of things. You know, I'm just trying to figure out how you process it, then what you'll go to first.
Yeah, usually I have them just warm up. I'm like, just show me what you got.
Sure.
And I'll have them usually warm up a few times because, you know, they don't usually do what they normally do on the first one, you know, till you get a little bit of weight on there. And then we'll move their hands. And then, you know, I'll help them with their setup. And everyone needs to set up differently. Like my setup might not work for you. You might have to, maybe you don't like your feet on the bench. Maybe you like to put your shoulders down and scoot them back, you know. So we'll figure out what works for them. rolling the shoulders down, squeezing the lats, or squeezing your shoulder blades together. We always work on that, getting your chest up, because a lot of people get rolled concave and then they overextend, like this. So we'll work on that. I mean, leg drive's the very last thing that I would coach someone on, because it's really hard. And a lot of people can't get it. I always say, like when you're looking at, your bar path and your leg drive, it's like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same thing. You're trying to get like two different things to work together. And for some people, that's really difficult to make them go. So if you're telling them a bunch of things, the most important part is, the setup and the bar path, and then the leg stuff can come later. Sometimes they're just not ready to add that in yet.
The USAPL rules didn't change with the IPF rules, did they?
No.
Okay. All right. So because the IPF are weird, like where the feet can go and can't go. It's like they're either, if you look at the room, like you're either allowed here or here. I don't know what you can do in the middle. Where you can, the reason I'm asking that is because you can't put your feet on the bench, right? But you can still.
We can. Yeah. Yeah. And they for years, IPF is trying to figure out, ways to keep the rainbow arches. And so I mean, it seems to have helped some, the rules that they put into place. They have I think your elbow joint has to go below your shoulder joint is like a rule, which is, I feel, kind of probably something that's a little tough to enforce, especially for like a side referee. But it seems to have limited some of it, if that was your goal.
If that was the goal.
Yeah.
It's just
But USA Powerlifting, I think when we left the IPF, it was kind of like, finally we can just do our own stuff. And I think like there was a certain amount of people that they definitely wanted to leave a long time ago, but the athletes didn't want to. They would constantly ask us, because every time the IPF would put down a new rule or a new standard or a new cost, they would be like, do we want to stay in here? And overwhelmingly, everybody wanted to, because, that was the highest level you could get to lifting. So essentially, they took the option away. And there's definitely certain people that were, I think, running our organization were just like, finally.
Yeah. Well, how many countries now is the USAPL in?
I'm on the international committee now, and we're working on it. I think we have around 30 right now. It's growing. It's going to be a banner year for us in 2024. There's a lot of international countries that are looking for an alternative.
Yeah. Well, it was tough for a lot of lifters. They were their hands forced, to make a decision based upon basically just the worlds, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, outside of the worlds, I don't think it really mattered.
It didn't. In some countries, though, they're only allowed one federation. You can't have two. You have to pick your country's federation, and that's it. And they don't have the option of lifting in others. So for some of them, they won't have a choice. They'll have to lift in IPF because that's their country's adopted.
Would those be the countries that are actually paying the lifters?
Probably.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I mean, it would make sense, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
It only starts hurting bad when I put 14 or more in my hand. So the goal weights, it hurts. 1,000, 11, 12, 13, 1350, nothing hurts. 14 or up, lightning bolt starts hurting.
Do you think that you have to handle those weights to be able to hit a meet?
That's how I've done it my entire career.
Yeah.
So if my goal was 7, when I was trying to bench 7 at like 18, whether it be off higher boards, lower range of motion, reverse bands, whatever it was, if I could physically handle it that week, my goal weight for the next meet became my minimum working weight. I've always believed in that. The meet's not the time to experiment with like new weights.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I have to put these loads in my hand. I have to, in one shape or another, to be able to do it someday. I'm not going to bench 15 by just doing reps with 13 and 1350.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as much as I would like it to be that way, I really would, but it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. How has your mindset shifted over the last 15 years?
Mindset. There's a lot that could mindset.
I know it's a broad,
I'm trying to
define definition.
I'm trying to narrow it down to answer the question in a smart sounding way.
Well, let's go with lifestyle, right? Because it starts there, right? Because the mindset going to bleed into how the lifestyle is.
Yeah.
So has the lifestyle changed?
The lifestyle again, we enjoy everything we do, but my lifestyle has definitely like become boring, but willingly, because we have, it's not just me, have a goal, and we've tailored everything to achieve that goal. So not really going out. This past week's been very off for us, doing this trip with our friends. So, but it was a blast, and just dumbing down everything. Like you have to sleep, you have to eat, you have to keep up your sodium. Maybe we can't do these things because you have to. It's just, overall lifestyle. We enjoy it and we have a blast doing it, but it's definitely like somebody would look at that and go, "That's boring as shit." But that's how I want to get that. That's what's led me to be successful. So I'm going to keep doing it. It's super basic, but
has it changed in any way on how you approach your working sets?
I want to say no, not really. I've had the same attitude in the gym the whole time I've been there. When I get to the gym, nothing else matters. My car could catch on fire out in the parking lot. It doesn't matter because I am here. Car's on fire, but I drove 45 minutes to get here, and no workout can be wasted because we're not made of money. It costs to go to the gym and drive 45 minutes one way and everything else, and try to eat as healthy as possible or as in excess as possible, because that's expensive too. So every time I go to the gym, I'm going to accomplish something. Maybe, like we talked about earlier, I have to shift because I am not 100% or something goes wrong, but I will get something done that's going to get one more micro step closer. It all means something, right? So yeah, that attitude never leaves. And I enjoy the shit out of every single time I get the opportunity to go to the gym. I love the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I still to this day enjoy the hell. If I didn't truly love what I'm doing, I wouldn't do it. Why be miserable? Like for something you don't like. Sometimes it is miserable, but I enjoy it. It all means something.
What, with that being said, what hobbies do you have that you try to make some kind of room for?
Yeah. Well, let's see.
I can't answer the question either, so don't feel bad because when people ask me that, I'm like, I don't know. It's pretty much on autopilot. I was into cars when I was younger and working on them and such. I still love shooting. Holy shit, I love shooting. But in Virginia, you don't. In Northern Virginia, you don't really have places to shoot. So when you come home, I shoot a lot. I'm into space and stuff like that. And I've been watching Elon with his Starbase out of Boca Chica Beach in Texas. I've been watching that like a hawk for the last 4 years and watching it develop and stuff like that. But overall, physically, it's just like it's fairly limited. I like lifting weights. That's my hobby and my passion in my life. It's all. Do you worry about things like how many steps you get in per day or anything cardio based at all? Yeah.
Cardio for me, dude,
go to the fridge.
I don't ever pay attention to that crap. I'll tell you what, one of the hardest things I've ever done, both physically, but cardiovascularly speaking, was about 4 months ago or 5 months ago. I hit 1,000 pounds for 20 reps from a 2 board, I think it was. My body was in shock. I couldn't catch my breath for about 10 or 15. I felt like I was in the Marines running. That's how it felt. Even though the set probably only lasted like less than 60 seconds. But overall, no, I don't pay attention to that stuff.
How do you set up for that? And how do you breathe through that? Or you just don't even think about it. It's just load the shit on there.
I know. I didn't hold my breath the whole
time. No, I know that.
I do know that.
Yeah.
No, I think I've only done that once. It was stupid because I think my body was literally shutting down afterwards. But I touch the board, extend on the way down for that many reps. I'm getting a breath on the way down.
Okay.
And then cause I was just kind of going. But that was, I couldn't catch my breath for about 10 minutes. My heart was up for about 45 minutes. I was shaking. My guys are like, you okay? I'm like, I don't know. I think so.
What makes you come to the conclusion to do shit like that?
That's just a personal challenge. That's what I mean when I wrote out my 12 weeks of programming leading up to that 14.
Yeah.
There is shit in there that doesn't make any fucking sense. It does not make any sense. Now I say in the description, this was my training for 1400.
Yeah.
This is what I did. This is verbatim what I did line by line. A lot of it's just personal challenge.
So are those things that you'll pull out as you start to try to peak for 15?
Sure. I mean, like, I keep...
Or intentionally not do.
I'll do it once, like every 6 months or so. I'll go, hey, when I did 700 the last time I hit 40 reps. That was like 6 months ago. I'm going to try that again. It could be even on a Wednesday, just at complete random, and try to at least, if not match the reps, try to go above. So I have rep PRs with different weights. I've got, it's just personal challenges, and that's fun for me. Maybe benching 1,000 for 20 makes no damn sense as far as like a 1 rep max is concerned, but it was fun. I just wanted to do it to try to do it. That was it.
Wait, are those things markers, you know, along the way that kind of show progress? Because
it shows me progress, or it at least tells me that like I'm not going backwards. I'm at a minimum, I'm maintaining where I'm at, or or I'm progressing. Now, if I went for 800 in a Widowmaker full range and got less than 25 reps, I'm like, something's off. Yeah. And because with practice and time, I've been good at self-regulation, I could go, oh, okay, maybe I missed it because last night this, or this morning this, or whatever it is. But they're markers. They're markers, yes, but they're mostly just fun challenges. Yeah. Just personal fun challenges.
When you went from anti-band shirt to actually embracing it, did you discover that there's more to it than what you thought?
It was more fun than I thought it would be. I don't know if there's more to it, but the first time I put one on, it was 3-ply, I remember, and I rode it up real high like you would a poly. And I was like, yeah, just getting it up and I couldn't hit what I could in a poly. I was like, maybe this isn't as good as I thought it was. And I was like, wait a minute, you wear a slingshot and everything down by your elbows. Let's put it down. And I went and I blasted it up. I was like, okay, I think I figured it out, and it became super fun. And the shirt doesn't beat you up. It doesn't beat you up at all. Not even close to what a poly does. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, you feel a lot better. So it was just, it ended up being a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
With the, walk me through how you set up with the band shirt. So let's forget about how to set the shirt, because that's going to be different for everybody, and we're just going to confuse people with that. So the shirt's on, and it's on right, and then you sit on the bench. What are the exact steps that you do from that point on?
A lot of people, I think, make a mistake of moving their arms too much in a band shirt. I get it on, and I'm here. I'm like holding it down. So I lay back. I try not to put my arms back in reach. I try to get my head straight under the bar as much as possible. So all I have to do is this instead of this. I grab the bar like 2 underhands like this. Poly, I'll grab it like in between my thumb and my hand, and because you can move it easier. But band shirt, I'll pull under so you can just, somebody pushes one hand, pushes the other. And as they're doing that, I get one hand over, and as they push this one, I'm squeezing and I'm pulling like a rear, a pec deck, like your shoulder, a rear pec deck. I'm just really squeezing over like that. And then once I have that set,
so when you're in this position here and they pull that first one out, what are you intentionally trying to do to make sure your other shoulder doesn't come off the bench? Because people will tilt.
I squeeze, so I'm squeezing with the hand that's not. So it's stuck. It's not moving it, nothing. Like I'm grabbing it like I'm ready to bench. So when it goes, it's not moving as much as possible as it can move. And then I'll do the same thing once this is getting moved. Then once I'm here, I'll get the guys doing it, push my elbows out. So that helps me get my back a little bit more tighter. And most of the time I'll need a little, and then you're like this though still with the wrist. So I'll get them to push my wrist out a little bit, which gets the hand corrected. So there's no pinching, the bar's not pinching your hand. And if I can get from here to here with that little bit of wrist, I can squeeze that back even more. And so that's how I set my hands on that. And once that happens, I'm locked in. That's when I move my feet. My feet, I'm on a little arch. They're not set yet, but I'm just trying to get in that position. And then I just inch my feet out to where my butt's just hovering. It's kind of like automatic now for me.
So the feet start back more than needed?
No, they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
They're just flat. They're just kind of hanging out, and I'm not really focusing on them. Maybe a little bit on my toes, but not like back on my toes. And then I just kind of inch them out, push my knees out, get the glutes tight. And then I'll push up, get my arch real good as I'm doing that, and then I'm set.
All right, so then it's lifted out. Where do you want the bar when it's lifted out? Sternum, chin?
More over the chest than you would poly, barely though, because you're not going to be I'm not able to bring it out as far.
As low as multi-ply?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So in multi-ply, I bring it out and I have the weights and I'm trying to break that bar.
Yeah.
I put it in your pinkies, put your pinkies into the bar, and I'm like this. With the band shirt, I can't really do that. I don't feel like there's enough support in the actual shirt in that position. So I bring it out more. I'm just like a lat pull down and not like that, but more just bringing it out straight. So everything's still stacked, but I kind of feel it, if this makes any sense, more in my bones. I don't feel the weight in my bones, but I feel like I'm just holding it more than letting the shirt hold it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I don't tuck. It's like a hybrid tuck. It's not near as much of a tuck as poly. And I never flare raw, but it's not a flare either. So it's like a hybrid in between tuck. And I just kind of I can go towards belly. It's not as much as a poly or a multi-ply tuck would be, or two belly. Very close though.
Now, if it's getting hard to touch, what do you do to make it touch?
That's something I actually learned, a good lesson I learned at the Arnold last year. I was having trouble touching, and I came down and I was like, maybe if I flare a little bit more and kind of push up, it'll touch, get that extra stretch. I did that and I popped up, but I couldn't lock it out. I was too high. I was too much this way. I didn't have enough room to follow through and flare. So what I do now is I come in, if I can't touch, I try and tuck. While I push my belly up, I try to tuck just a hair, because usually that's all I need is just a hair. If I'm further than that, it's not going to work. So it's just tuck, just bring your elbows in a little bit more, almost like you're just trying to squeeze your armpit. You know what I mean? Squeeze that piece of paper between your armpit a little bit more, and it's usually there, so I can pop it up and then flare as I need. If I come out and try to flare, it just stops.
Now, when you say flare as you need, at what point do you know if you need that or not?
If it stops. For me, there's been a few times where it's just stopped.
So you wait until it stops until you'll do that.
Otherwise, it's just pushed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pushed straight up, and if it doesn't, you feel it stop, then you just kind of start spreading and flared barely, like a little bit.
Yes.
I flare a lot more in a multi-ply shirt, but just a little flare in the band.
Well, all this that you just went through explains why you have to have more repetitions in the shirt.
Yes.
Because you have to do all this shit and think while it's going on. And you're only going to be able to do that through repetition, because a lot of people, they don't even think at all when they're pressing.
Yep.
It's just like their brain screaming, God, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And there's a lot more to it.
Yes.
You know, especially when the plies start getting higher, because you need to know where it is on the way down.
Yes.
The whole time it's going down. Do you focus on trying to keep where do you have your eyes? Because a lot of people, some get away with it, get trapped in of trying to watch the bar, and then their head comes up and then the chest will drop.
I watch it until I can't see it. You know what I mean? So I'll watch it, but I don't lift my head. Okay. So I'll watch it, and it disappears, and then it's feel from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't lift my head. I don't focus on pushing it back either. I think it's just second nature that it stays there.
But you let the bar disappear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I don't look up. I don't follow it. I follow it just my eyeballs, and it's gone. And then
you know what I'm talking about though, because you've seen people do that. It's like, motherfucker, if you just don't, you know what I'm saying? This is all you need to do is just don't do that.
We have a training partner, Chad, in our gym. Really good lifter, but he would lift his head so much, and he would almost look like he's trying to do a sit up while he's touching. I'm like, if you don't do, you're increasing your range of motion so much. He recently fixed it and is hitting PRs in PR in the gym, it looks so much better. His belly's staying up. There's no like crater. He's not creating a crater. You know, when you fold over and you're trying to touch.
That's a trap people can get into if they're using boards too much with shirts.
Yes.
You know, because they don't get that.
I'm huge. That's one thing. I take away boards. Take away board, and that's exactly what he did. I suggested it to him. I'm not saying I wouldn't say he's listening to me. I suggested it, and his bench is going very well now, and it's night and day difference, and it looks great. And he's being way more consistent in everything. Once we took away the board, just do floating reps. Add the board in if you want to do a drop set at the last one, or if you want to do
day.
Exactly, or if you're going to go do your top set and you want one more, let's do a one more. Let's see if I can handle this weight I've never handled. Let's take it to a 1 or 2 point. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Don't, in my opinion, don't use it the whole day. Don't do it unless you got some elbow pain and shoulder. You know what I mean? There's exceptions, but if you're fine, if it's a normal training day, take away the boards.
Yeah.
So
now walk me through your 905 single ply bench. Is that what it was?
No, 900. And I'll tell you why I correct it, because on open powerlifting, the world record was 893 or something like that. And I was like, I'll go 900, break it. I went 900, broke it. That next day, it was up. Somebody didn't update it. It was updated. 903 was the world record in 2018. Nobody said anything to open power. They didn't seem to care. I don't know. It wasn't updated. So 903 was actually the record. That's why I didn't go 905. And so I didn't get that record, because it still irks me now, because it's 5 pounds. I would have went for it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was 900 and it wasn't a record.
Now I saw a video. I don't know if it was this one or if it was a different one. It was the red overkill. It looked like a lift that I wouldn't want to do.
It wasn't a red overkill that I used for the 900.
Was it crooked and then straightened out on the press?
900?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that happened at that meet, yes.
Yes. Walk me through that lift, because that looked like a lift in my brain. I'm like, I don't know if I would have done that one, man. I'm not saying it was still a good lift. I mean, by rules, it was all good. I'm just saying, personally, I wouldn't want to be in that position.
For some reason, I've always had a lag in my left arm.
Yeah.
And if I'm not perfect on that bench, my left arm is going to come up a little low with the max weight. So sometimes, I know which one you're talking about now. I'm sorry. That was 90, and that was 905, but that was multi-ply.
Okay.
I missed the first attempt because of that. So we did the fold over the tricep.
Yeah.
So we put an extra 3 layers over. So it was a 6 over that, 6 layers over that part of the tricep. I come down, I come up, and it doesn't dip. It just stops moving.
Yeah.
And it's moving. This right side's moving up. And if you just saw that right side, it looked like an easy lift with that left side.
Oh, I'm thinking your pec is going to go, man. It's like, this is a pec tearing weight to have.
For some reason, that left side, like I have to scoot over. Anyways, and it just, that extra layer we folded over just came into play, I think, you know, and I finally got it. Yeah, it moved up. I was so thankful. I went 4 straight bomb outs going for 900 before that one. So, and then I missed my opener. I was like, no, I felt so good that day. Warm ups went phenomenal. They went great. I was like, today's the day. Missed that opener. I was like, no.
So what's going through your mind on that, right? Because that's not like, when one's trailing the other one, you still need to lock out at the same time. You can't say slow down the other arm. You know what I'm saying?
I always say afterwards, I'm like, if I could just slow down that one just a little, it would be, you know what I mean? It might make the lift easier, but you can't, like you said, you can't do that. It's just push. Like, I'm just like, go in my head. It's not technique. It's not.
Yeah, at that point,
I'm like, go. And it went, and it like just caught in the perfect position. And thankfully got the lockout on that one. Yeah, that's all I'm thinking. I'm like, not again. You know, okay, it's moving.